Thank you.
30 seconds. 30 if you're Irish. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Daryl Demerit. On behalf of the pastors and our Board of Trustees, we welcome you to Colby Memorial Temple for our Sunday service. To begin our service, Reverend Jerry Moore will light 3 lights symbolizing the unity of body, mind, and spirit. Thank you, Reverend Jerry. Please rise as you are able for our opening prayer and remain standing for our first hymn. Infinite Spirit, we thank you for bringing us here to Colby Temple this morning so that we may gather with each other and those who are with us from the spirit side of life. We ask that you open our hearts and minds so that we may enjoy the warm, loving energy around us and be inspired by the words and song as we share our time together today. Amen. Our first hymn, number 110 in your hymnal, Count Your Blessings, will be led by our vocalist, Jamie Osmond.
When you are discouraged, thinking it's all, count your many blessings and it will surprise you what you have done. Your blessings may be done. Your blessings done. Are you and you will be singing as the days go by. Have done. So it made the conflict weather break. Do not be discouraged, God is over. Count to make me bless these angels with the help and comfort you to your journey's end. Your blessings take me one time. Your blessings one have done. Thank you. You may be seated.
Thank you, Jamie. Located on the handout and in the front cover of the hymnal are our Declaration of Principles. Please join with me in reciting these principles together. We believe in infinite intelligence. We believe that the phenomena of nature, both physical and spiritual, are the expressions of infinite intelligence. We affirm that a correct understanding of such expression and living in accordance therewith constitute true religion. We affirm that the existence and personal identity of the individual continue after the change called death. We affirm that communication with the so-called dead is a fact, scientifically proven by the phenomena of spiritualism. We believe that the highest morality is contained in the Golden Rule. Whatsoever ye would that others should do unto you, do ye also unto them. We affirm the moral responsibility of the individual and that he makes his own happiness or unhappiness as he obeys or disobeys nature's physical and spiritual laws. We affirm that the doorway to reformation is never closed against any human soul, here or hereafter. We affirm that the precepts of prophecy and healing contained in the Bible are divine attributes proven through mediumship. The healing prayer is located in the back of your hymnal. Please recite with me this prayer for spiritual healing. I ask the great unseen healing force to remove all obstructions from my body and to restore me to perfect health. I ask this in all sincerity and honesty, and I will do my part. I ask this great unseen healing force to help both present and absent ones who are in need of help and to restore them to perfect health. I put my trust in the love and the power of God. Now, for those of you who wish to receive spiritual healing, please take a seat along the wall on either side of the temple and go to the next available healer. While the healers work, the rest of us will join in a guided meditation. This meditation has been inspired by the ancient wisdom of different spiritual teachers regarding our innermost self as our source of happiness. Please sit comfortably as you are able, with your upper body upright over your hips, head comfortably as an extension of your spine, shoulders relaxed, arms relaxed, hands placed in your lap, either facing up or downward, and your eyes gently closed. I am going to guide you through a meditation to experience your true and pure self, where we will be turning the spotlight inward. Now, please pay attention to your breathing, taking a breath in and exhaling. Be aware of your breath, the natural breathing in and natural exhaling. There is no need to change it or control it. Just focus on your breath and become aware of how natural it happens. Be aware of your shoulders and relax them. Be aware of the muscles of your face and let them relax. Relax your legs and your feet with no tension and as comfortably as they can rest. Now bring your awareness to your mind, to your thoughts. If your mind has busyness of the day or things you have to do, or worries that you have. We are going to let them go. Because none of those things are impermanent. They're not permanent. So imagine them just passing by like clouds in the sky. They are not you. They are not yours to be controlled by. They are just things you've accumulated. But you are not bound to them in any way. Observe those things in your mind as being separate from yourself. Be aware of thoughts floating by, relax, and just observe the thoughts, but let them go without thinking of them. Now, imagine the time before your first breath. It was just you and your aware presence. It was before things in your life began to accumulate, one at a time, then two, then dozens. Let's imagine going back to a time before you had any of them. Before the one, like your job, or the two, like your relationships, or the 10, like the things on your to-do list, or the 20 other things in your mind. Go back to your zero. Back to zero. Before the 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Back to where you were just you, your essence, your true self, your true being. Sit for a moment and enjoy imagining being free of all of the clutter. Back to before it occurred, when you were still at zero. Feel yourself, your calmness, your inner essence, your you-ness. This is your true self. Enjoy the calm and quiet for a few moments. If a thought comes into your mind, a worry, just let it pass by and watch it vanish into the universe. If another thought comes, imagine it as an image on a movie screen. It's all temporary, just passing by. You are being mindful, but those things have no power over you, and they are not permanent. Witness the mind things, but don't identify with them. Know that you are not that activity. You are simply the witness of it. It's a passing thing, like the weather. Think of it as the weather, and you are the sky. Let everything go and return to your quiet, to your zero. I'm going to leave you here to continue to enjoy for just a few minutes your true and pure self, free from clutter, free from stresses. As you sit with your true self, you are experiencing your I am presence, the soul of you, safe, calm, peaceful, and unencumbered. You are now in a perfect place to be receptive to sensing, to feeling warm and loving energies around you. If you are taken in your mind to an image, an awareness of a beautiful place outdoors in nature, sit quietly and experience the colors around you, the freshness of the air, the sounds of the wind, the ocean waves, the insects and wildlife. Or you may become aware of the warm, loving energy of a loved one who has passed to the spirit side of life. Feel their presence and open your heart to them. Be aware of the loving energy they bring. Now expand your awareness through your senses of smell, touch, or taste, so that you can appreciate their presence and what they are bringing to you to remind you of them. The smell of their perfume, the warm embrace of a hug, the taste of your favorite treat they used to bring to you. Be receptive to receive a gift, or a message, or a hug, or a loving touch. Be aware of any of these things, or none of these things, with no worries, no pressure. You are at a place of zero, with nothing but you, resting as awareness. Continue to sit in quiet, still at a place of zero, letting interferent thoughts just float away, and continue to enjoy being just you and the beautiful energy that is around you. Now appreciate yourself for being free of the clutter for even this short time. If you felt the beautiful energy and images of the earth that are around you, or if you received a special message or gift from a loved one, give thanks. Remember this experience of calming yourself by going back to your zero, and practice this yourself whenever you want to experience your calm, aware presence, where you are not impacted and don't feel controlled by the ones, twos, threes, fours, or fives. When you just want to rest in awareness and put all the clutter aside and experience your calm, your essence, your true self. Now start to become aware of your breathing, the natural filling of your lungs as you inhale and breathing out as you exhale, naturally without control. Ease into sensing that you are sitting here where you are and that you can feel your feet touching the floor below you. Now you can begin to open your eyes when you are ready. Feel appreciative of the beauty surroundings here in Colby Temple. And thank your own self for taking this time to meditate. Thank you. All right. If you have received a healing resulting in a correction or improvement, please complete the yellow card. Looks like this. It's located in your hymnal, and give it to the pastor at the back of the temple, or you may mail the card in to us. You may also put it in the collection plate. We'd like to thank our healers for sharing their gift of healing. Our healers this morning, from my left to right, are Jackie Arnold, Cynthia Preston, Deb Jordan, Coquette Cruz, Reverend Judy Cooper, and Reverend Steve Adkins. Thank you so much. Please stand for our next hymn, number 16. O Spirit, let me walk with thee.
It's 190.
I'm sorry.
Page 190.
It will be number 190. I'm sorry.
Forgot to tell you.
You switched.
I did. I forgot to tell him we switched it to 190 silently. Oops. Oh, we might be singing now. Okay. We're gonna start it over. We have a new musical system on an iPad, so we're learning it. Night, peaceful night, sleep. All is still. Just watch above. Bright as star, shines above. Spring. Spring. The David's fine. Beautiful. You may be seated.
All right, now for what we've been waiting for. It's now with pleasure that I introduce Reverend Simon Cadullo, a former Benedictine monk. Reverend Simon is a graduate of the School of Spiritual Healing and Prophecy at Fellowship of the Spirit in Lilydale, and is a registered medium with Lilydale Spiritualist Center in New York. He is an ordained spiritualist minister, healer, and teacher. Simon has spent most of his life in social work and has worked as an addictions counselor, a psychiatric counselor, supervisor for a probation home, and director of a group home for the mentally and emotionally challenged. Simon always makes his connection with loved ones about healing and providing evidence that life continues after what we call death. Please join me in welcoming Reverend Simon Cadullo.
Good morning, everyone. It's so lovely to be here in this beautiful facility. I'm so grateful to be here, and it is such a privilege to speak with you. I wanted to talk about the principle. We affirm that the existence and personal identity of the individual continues after the change called death. During the course of our time together this morning, I would like to explore who is this individual? What are they made of that they can exist after death? And how do we know that? We will talk about this. And how do they continue after the change called death? The individual, this person, we have so many questions about the nature of what makes up this individual that they can exist after death. It would seem safe to say the individual and soul are one and the same. With that understanding, it is our belief that the soul survives the body and lives in the spirit world. We know from thermodynamics, or the law of conservation, which states that, quote, energy can't be created or destroyed. It can only change forms. This energy doesn't go away at death, end quote. Why? can energy be destroyed? The answer lies in the fundamental nature of energy itself. Energy is a property of matter and is inherent in everything around us. It cannot be created or destroyed because it is an integral part of the universe, just like matter and space. I want to move now from science to the soul. And according to Wikipedia, quote, in many religious and philosophical traditions, the soul is the spiritual essence of a person, which includes one's identity, personality, and memories, end quote. As regard to the soul, the 16th century Italian philosopher and theologian, Thomas Aquinas, whose writing career was not long, but he wrote an enormous number of works. He believed, like Plato, that the soul is immortal, immaterial, and a spiritual form. They believed the soul was the principle for knowledge and was distinct from the body. However, Aquinas follows Aristotle in thinking that the soul inhabits in a body which is a composition of matter and form. In his book, Book 2, Alan Kardec, 1804 to 1869, the father of spiritualism, explains his understanding of the soul, the chapter about the soul. What was the soul before being untethered with a body? A spirit. Are souls and spirit one and the same thing? Yes, souls are spirits. Before joining a body, the soul of the intelligent beings living in the invisible world. It assumes a physical body temporarily to complete its purification and enlightenment. He continues. Is a person made up of anything other than a soul and a body? The link that unites the soul and the body. In the Discourse on Methods and Rules for the Direction of the Mind, written in 1637 by the French mathematician and philosopher René Descartes, said, quote, I think, therefore I am, end quote. What does that mean? A question that has continued over the centuries. In his statement, he felt that it could not be doubted. He found that he could not doubt that he himself existed, as he was the one doing the doubting in the first place. In other words, for being able to think, I have to do something, to act, in order to stay alive and to make my thinking possible. Thus, the fact that I have to act because I am in this world, I exist. For this philosopher, thinking is just consciousness in the widest sense of the term. In an act of thinking, of consciousness, we can distinguish between 1, the act, and 2, the content of the act, what the act is about. An act is an event in time. So the only evidence you have that you exist as a self-aware being is your conscious experience of thinking about your existence. Another French philosopher, Pierre de Chardin, said, quote, "We are not human beings having a spiritual experience. We are spiritual beings having a human experience." Many of us have heard this quote, have read it on the internet, or maybe have heard it quoted several times in lectures like this one. Somewhere in us, we have the feeling that we are made of more than just thoughts and feelings. Perhaps intuitively know that there is some truth to this. We are more than flesh, bones, and our personal egos. There is something in each of us that knows I am more than what I think. Some 400 years later, we might have a better understanding of this statement. With the invention of computers, we can now better grasp the idea of virtual reality or alternate reality. As well as understanding the early stage of conscious being, is the individual an eternal being? The Arab Christian monk, St. John, born in 675, wrote, quote, "The soul, therefore, is a living essence, uncomplicated, incorporate, invisible in its proper nature. To the eyes of the body, immortal, reasoning, and intellectual, formless, making use of an organic body, and being the source of its life powers, growth, sensation, generalization, the intellectual being at its purest, though not in any way alien to it. As the eye is to the body, so the intellect is to the soul. It has power over itself, its energy, and is mutable, able to change because it is created. All these features are natural to it through the grace imparted by its creator, and its being and nature are thus of the same grace which it has received." This past summer, Lilydale hosted Dr. Raymond Moody, the father of the near-death experience and author of books that have sold over 20 million copies. It was not until after that I began to understand more of my own near-death experiences. In his book, Proof of Life After Life, he quotes his friend, Nan, quote, "I think if you take everything into account, death looks very much like a transition. The question is, can it be biochemically explained? I do not have my doubt that it can be explained biochemically. I do doubt. So yes, I definitely think of death as a transition, no matter how you regard it. The afterlife, if it exists, will be very complex and very difficult to understand. The question is, what is the soul if it exists? Does it persist as an individual? Is it able to dissolve into the great whatever? Can it rejoin the great consciousness that exists in the background of reality of all existence? Can it pop up again and reincarnate? End of quote. I would like to take a moment to tell you a story of an individual, a man from Illinois who left the snow-filled streets of Chicago for a vacation in Florida, perhaps here. His wife was on a business trip and was planning to meet him there the next day. When he reached his hotel, he decided to send his wife a quick email. Unable to find the scrap of paper on which he had written her email, he did his best to type it in from memory. Unfortunately, he missed one letter, and his note was directed instead to an elderly preacher's wife whose husband had passed away only the day before. When the grieving widow checked her email, she took one look at the monitor, let out a piercing scream, and fell to the floor in a dead faint. At that sound, the family rushed into the room and saw the note on the screen. Dearest wife, just got checked in. Everything prepared for your arrival tomorrow. P.S. Sure is hot down here. Let's talk about the individual and what that means. According to the Oxford Dictionary, a single human being. If we understand and agree that the individual is a single human being, what is an individual's consciousness? It is the individual's awareness of its unique thoughts, memories, feelings, sensations, and environments. Essentially, your consciousness is your awareness of yourself and the world around you. This awareness is subjective and unique to you. Remember, I think, therefore I am. As a medium working in Lilydale, we are expected to give evidence of the spirit loved one, the individual we have connected with. That individual or soul we are bringing through from the other side must make themselves identifiable to the grieving family member. It is during this time of connection, as Eileen Davies says in her book, quote, as a medium, it is best to leave it to the spirit, the individual, to sort out what needs to be conveyed, although to be able to embody the experience and presence of the spirit is the mediumship at its finest. For it is not the medium's job to find out what needs to be said. This is up to the spirit. And if left to their own device, they will soon come up with the facts and information which is meaningful to the person who receives the communication. End quote. In so many readings, the sitter has asked if the deceased loved ones are all right. And there is always the hope that they will be reunited again. And so we go back to our principle. We affirm that the existence and personal identity of the individual continues after the change called death. From everything we have discussed today, we can affirm that the individual is the soul, spirit, and yes, consciousness. Whether we are quoting Aquinas, Plato, Chardin, or Moody, we can understand this. We know that we are all connected to Source. We are all one, and that our individuality continues after this thing called death, because it is not an ending, but a beginning. As Moody says, quote, our consciousness persists in another framework of reality after our bodies die. He continues, yes, I am forced to say that even though I still stammer in the incomprehensibleness when I say it, I have not yet fully internalized the idea that there is an afterlife, even though circumstances compel me to say that, yes, I definitely think there is life after life. And so we understand we are all individual spiritual beings having a human experience. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Reverend Simon, for those very interesting and inspiring words this morning. During our musical interlude, we will be passing the collection basket. We thank you in advance for your generosity. I'd now like to bring Jamie back for this musical interlude.
I always go the other way. My car drove me down today to a little house on the older side of town. Back when things were never hard, I used to play there in that yard, and I just drove by to see if things had changed. Folks were just a nickel then, and across the street at the 5 and 10, a lot of things were cheap and square and strange. The life we had might have been, but it was one we loved believing in. And I just drove by to see if things had changed. I wonder now if love is still the way that it was back then. And I need to know that life is still a place worth living in. And there it is, just like it was, a house where there was always love. And I just drove by to see if things had changed. You know, during this holiday season, we always reminisce. We think of the times of past. But I often wonder, and I believe, that those who've gone on to the spirit side of life come and check on us. They come and see if things have changed, if we still love, if we still think about them as they think about us. So take this holiday season to think about them, to bring them around, to bring them closer, because they're there. You just have to open your heart to them. In a world that's seen its better days, it's good to know some things remain the same. Though standing still, it's not time's way. And take to heart while in its spring, that love is just a fragile thing. And I just drove by to see if things had changed. Oh, I just drove by to see if things had changed. Thank you, Spirit.
That was simply beautiful, Jamie. It was amazing. Infinite intelligence, we thank you for these generous offerings this morning. And we ask that these gifts be returned tenfold. We ask that you guide our board of trustees and pastors as they utilize these offerings and all that is necessary and good in support of Southern Casadega Spiritualist Camp. Amen. Now for a few announcements. Next Wednesday, December 6th, our Wednesday night message service bearer will be Joy Sagar. And next Sunday, December 10th, our guest speaker at our 10:30 service will be Lori Carter. Every Sunday, we have Adult Lyceum, also known as Sunday School, from 9:30 until 10:15, just down the street at the Andrew Jackson Davis Building, where the bookstore is located. And next Sunday, December 10th, our Lyceum speaker will be Jody Martinez. I also have some announcements of upcoming events. This afternoon, we will have our new member orientation from 1 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. in the Andrew Jackson Davis Building. This will be session number 3, which will address church programs, the student program, and volunteerism. For those of you that are participating in these, or for those that are interested in participating to become a new member, this is session 3, but you don't have to have completed sessions 1 and 2. You just have to complete them all, but not in any specific order. So hopefully, if you're interested, you can participate today. All are welcome. Next Saturday, December 9th, Reverend Diane Davis will be having a workshop titled Energies of Life from 10:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. in the Andrew Jackson Davis Building. Also next Saturday and Sunday, December 9th and 10th, we will be having our holiday market from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. on both days. The market will be held at the corner across from the bookstore on the Thomas Berkner Building lawn, which is 1090 Stevens Street. This will be a festive holiday market geared towards helping you with your holiday gift-giving needs. Everyone is welcome. Hopefully you all can join us for as many of these events as you are able. To participate in absentee healing, please print the name and the first initial of the last name of a loved one, friend, or even a pet in our healing book located in the left corner in the back of the temple. Every Thursday morning, we have our healing meditation circle at 11 a.m. in the Andrew Jackson Davis Building, where all of the names on our healing list are held in prayer. All are welcome to attend. Flyers for camp events like these are located in the back of the temple and in your bulletin. We have the activities calendar and church bulletin in your hymnal. Please take them home for yourself, and feel free to give them to a friend. Our website, casadega.org, has the monthly information as well as all of these upcoming events. Please stand as you are able for our next hymn. If Jamie hasn't switched it on me,
I have it.
it will be number 162, Spirit Calls Us. Thank you.
Gotta watch me. It's not working.
Like an acapella coming.
Oh my God.
As they're helping with the sound system, I want them down and you have a donation. That's crazy. Star right here.
Yeah, I'm gonna switch it because we don't have a window. Okay, hold on. The iPad decided to.
I could lead you in a song and dance, but you won't like that.
You got it.
All right.
Okay. It's never a dull moment around here. It's 162.
162.
Mhm. Thank you. You may be seated.
All right, and now for the message portion of our service, I'd like to bring back Reverend Simon Cadullo, who will be our message bearer this morning.
Thank you very much. May I come to you with a message? There's a man and a woman that come forward, okay? I feel a heart connection to them. I want to say they feel like a father and a mother, okay? So I want to say, as I bring the father connection in, he has a sense of humor, okay? And I feel the strength of him because I feel like he's flexing his muscles. So I feel like this was a fellow that worked very hard and very physical. You understand? I feel the mother come in and she wants to take a little bit more credit for the sense of humor. You understand? She's like, I'm really the one with the sense of humor. Okay. And I feel like she was also the glue to the family. I feel like I want to say, speaking of glue, she liked chocolate. And I want to say, and all things sweet. I also want to say the course that you're on right now, they are approving. All right. And I feel like there may have been some doubts for you, but they want to confirm that this is right for you. Okay. I leave that with the love and light. So I always say when I'm in Lilydale in front of audiences like this, I'm like, if you want a message, the key is to smile at the medium. And the light just goes right to you, all right? Okay, that's better. The lady, yes, with the green blouse, red hair. Yeah, everyone always says that. They always turn around. May I come to you? I feel like I have a couple of people now. I feel like I want to talk first about the woman that comes forward. And I feel like I'm more with a grandmother, okay? She feels like she was a rebel rouser is how I want to put this about her. You understand? And mighty. I don't feel like she was a big woman, but I feel like she was a mighty woman. And I feel like she's turning a book. She's turning a book. And this is a little confusing to me. I'm not sure what the book is, and I'm not even sure that she read, but I feel like that she is turning this book. And what I hear is like it's a family Bible. You understand this, right? And you have it. Okay. And she wants to confirm that. There's also a male that's with her. He feels younger than her, though. You understand? And so he steps forward. And I want to say when I connect with him, I feel like there's a shovel in his hand. Okay. And I feel like there's a gardening thing going on with him. Do you understand? Okay. And it almost feels to me like as he got older, and I feel like he was a hard worker. I feel like as he got older, he was finally able to do those things that he always wanted to do. Okay. And this is more like in the pursuit of a garden is what I want to say, because I feel like there's a fountain and I feel like birds around this fountain. Do you understand? You have inherited some of these qualities, I want to say. And he's very proud. Okay. So I leave that with his love and light to you. I have to come to you with the beads, or you know who I am. Right. Okay. You have a lot of people here. Okay. I want to talk to the women first. I feel like these women come in and I feel like they're on both sides of the family. All right. So I feel like I have grandmothers on both sides of the family. All right. I don't know if they knew each other, but they know each other now. And they're kind of like, they want to fight over you and the qualities that you possess. And it's like they want to, oh, she takes after me for this and me for that. All right, so I want to talk about the mother side of the family, that grandmother, okay? Stubborn, and a woman that, she tells me she always had to have the last word, okay? You are not that. You are not that. And so I want to go to the father's side of the family, that grandmother. And I feel like that's really more your, I'm going to say style. I feel like that's more of who you are. There's this kind of work that she did. And I feel like it is inherent, it's almost like you do the same kind of work. You understand? And there's also, she was also a very patient woman. And I want to say around her, that may have been quite difficult because of all the men in her life. I'm just going to say it like that. Okay. So I will leave that with her love and light. May I come to you? So I feel a male stepping forward. He feels like a father connection. When I connect with him, I feel like this was a fellow that had a hard time expressing himself, expressing his feelings. And I feel like with that, I feel like I want to say sorry. Okay. And I don't know whether this is something that happened towards the end, but I feel like I keep wanting to pull my pants up. Okay. I feel like this was almost, I want to say, like a habit. Okay. And he tells me that when he was younger, he was quite good looking. And there's something about his hair I want to say as well. I feel like I want to run a comb through it, and I just feel like it's wavy as I see it. He's in his earlier days, he was more stocky, and as he okay, and I feel like as he started to transition, I feel like there was some walking issues for him. Okay. And I feel like there was some assistance, I feel like this, with him. He says, it's like you have all the kindness of your mother. And he kind of jokes about that because like she got nothing from me, just her good looks. All right, so I leave that with his love and light. Away. There's some kind of celebration coming up. You understand? And I feel like he wants to say he'll be there. All right. Okay. More? No. Good. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Reverend Simon, for those messages today. We'd like to remind everyone that we will have our afternoon message service from 12 noon until approximately 12:30 today, right here in Colby Temple. A group of mediums and student mediums will be giving spirit greetings to as many individuals as they can reach during approximately 30 minutes. Everyone's welcome. We encourage you to visit our bookstore, which is open from 11:30 to 5 p.m. today and is open Monday through Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Please rise as you are able for our closing hymn, number 203, Let There Be Peace on Earth, and remain standing, please, for the closing prayer.
As it is on earth and With me, let it be the fall. There's the house. Wait.
Infinite Spirit, we thank you for bringing us here to Colby Temple today. And we thank you for the words of our speaker and the messages from the Spirit side of life that you have provided to us through him this morning. As we leave, please guide us through our travels and shine your light over us for the remainder of the day. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you for being here. Have a good day.
Yeah. Yeah.